Well, hello. It's Sarah, the Real Simple Mama, here with some nosy birds. And I'm going to kind of vent to you guys slash ask for advice slash it's one of these things where like I think I've made a decision, but I'm going to talk about it out loud and use you guys as my soundboard. So everything's fine. Like, it's not anything drastic or ridiculous. I'm not like getting rid of chickens and getting goats or anything like that. I did a foot check last night, and one of my new Easter egger girls, the calmer of the two, the one who's closer to you, who just put her head down, her name is Miss Moppet, and she has a little scab on the bottom of each of her feet. So for all intents and purposes, she has, what is it? She has, probably she has Bumblefoot. And so that's what this video is going to be about, talking about everything that I've learned so far. This is something I don't have experience in treating. I've had chickens for over a year, and this is the first time I'm dealing with it. So very, very briefly, Bumblefoot is basically where your chicken gets a cut on the bottom of their foot, which obviously there are no feathers. It's a thicker skin, but it is just skin. And they've got, if you can excuse my ridiculousness as I flash a gang sign, the Bumblefoot usually occurs in the fleshy part, which would be like the equivalent of the palm, is where the softest skin is. So, just normal foraging, digging around, doing chicken stuff, they get a little cut on their foot, which is no big deal. But then, of course, they're walking around in dirt all day and in, poop, or they're out on acreage or whatever. And so germs and stuff get in that cut, and essentially it's kind of like a staph infection. And in the research that I've done, there are 5 different levels as far as rating the severity. Level 1 is where there's not even really a scab there. The flesh is just kind of pink. It's described as being pink and shiny looking, kind of like you can tell there's been a cut there. Level 5 is where it is swollen to the point that you can tell by looking at a chicken's foot that area is extremely swollen. Your bird is probably limping. They are showing signs which remember, chickens try to hide pain, they try to hide illness. So if they're not eating or drinking and they're visibly limping, then that means, it's bad. And sometimes a further examination would have to be done to determine, has the infection gone to the bone? Has it gotten into their blood? And at that point, it's considered degenerative. Your bird can die from this. So, as I've said before in other videos, when you have pets, when you have animals, you have to take care of them every day, even if you don't feel like it, even if you're busy, even if, to insult myself, even if you've just had surgery, you have to go out and you have to make sure your animals are taken care of because they need you. And so, especially knowing that, there's my dog Sadie. I think, I know that I want to make sure she's not in pain. She's the one on your left right now. Who's pooping? I want to make sure that she's not suffering, that she's not in pain, anything like that. So as far as treatment options, I would like, for myself and for anything, I would much rather do the natural, least invasive thing. Now, I'm not the kind of person who, and not to get into this debate, but I'm not completely anti-modern medicine. I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm not that kind of person who's like, oh, you have the flu, let's eat some raw garlic. I do definitely feel there are times, when it is appropriate to go get professional medical attention and, get the antibiotics or get the medications and things like that. But essentially what you have to do if the infection gets bad enough, and this is where the discussion is coming in and where I kind of want to walk through everything with you guys. The least invasive thing is to get an antiseptic spray or powder, and there are vet safe and pet safe ones that you can get, and to soak their feet for 5 minutes and massage their feet in Epsom salt and warm water. And so, just finding a way to hold the bird and keep their feet in the water while you're just kind of gently working that spot. And what you want to do is not let it harden underneath the scab, like in their foot, and basically develop a kernel, because then the infection starts to advance. So that's the least invasive thing. The more invasive thing, and you can look up pictures, you can look up Bumblefoot, and what I had read when I first got chicks, and some of you guys know this, I started looking at all of the conditions that chickens may get. And Bumblefoot, for some reason, was the one that just stuck with me and the one that I have just been like terrified of. So I check my chickens' feet almost obsessively, especially right now during hurricane season when it's kind of wet. Because I'm just like, oh God, please don't have Bumblefoot. And none of my birds have ever had it. The problem is, it was a perfect storm with these girls because they were new, they were being integrated, they were in that crate that was here. Their bedding got wet because I couldn't get them up off the ground before the horrible, crazy rain hit. I can see Gracie is I've got two girls eating right here, and Gracie is back there making a dirt bath. I see dust and dirt like flying everywhere. And so it was in all of that wet where they were basically stuck in that cage that she cut her foot. And now it's feet. She's on your right now, the one that I'm talking about. Tick, tick, tick. Tick, tick, tick. So I was able to check her feet last night. I took pictures. She has small scabs on the bottom of both feet. It is not hard to the touch. It is not hot, which you could sometimes feel when something is infected. Of course, she's not showing me any signs of pain or anything like that. She also hasn't, neither one of them have laid an egg in a week. So I don't know if they're still just stressed out or what's going on. So I'm trying to leave them alone. I'm trying to not handle them. But if the infection gets more serious, what you have to do is, again, soak their feet. You have to cover up your bird in a towel, or Yuri, the woman who gave me these chickens, said I'd use like a tube sock and cut the end of it off, and then I put it down over their head with the open part for their beak to make sure that they can breathe okay, but basically just covering their eyes and helping them just kind of chill out. And you have to, soak the foot and try to soften the scab or get the scab to basically fall off. And then you have to cut out the infected tissue and squeeze out the hard kernel, which is the infection in the foot. I don't know if you can hear, Gracie is like purring over here. Then you have to clean out the wound, dig or cut out any infected tissue, and then you could go and read about how to tell if it's infected or not and all that stuff. Then you have to put like Neosporin without pain medication on it. You have to put gauze on their foot, and then you have to wrap their foot in that the bandage that sticks to itself, the self-adhesive. And then you have to be basically, a lot of people recommend that you put the bird in quarantine so other birds can't peck at the bandages and so it can't fall off or anything. And then you have to continue to check and clean the wound and basically reapply Neosporin and re-wrap it every day for X amount of days until it's closed up. And so it's like, holy crap, which is a lot of work anyway, but especially with a bird that is so wild that, I can only ever check her if she's been asleep because she's still so wild. So I'm just kind of like, oh crap. And everybody seems to have an opinion on, yes, you need to go ahead and do the surgery. It's only going to get worse. You need to do it like this and this and this. Other people say, no, just leave it. You're going to cause more harm. If you're cutting her open and it wasn't that bad, now you are making a big problem and it's more likely to get even more infected and, et cetera, et cetera. So I have literally been worried sick all morning about this bird because I am so empathetic. I don't want her to suffer. I don't want her to be in pain, especially because she's going to hide it. So I can't tell with her as well as I can tell like with my dog or with a child. But taking the bird in the house and, oh, there comes a squirrel on top of the fence. Taking my bird in the house and sterilizing my kitchen and trying to do this operation like on the kitchen sink with this bird, it's just not going to happen. Maybe with one of my other 3 girls because they know me and they're chill and they're kind of like whatever, but not with these 2 Easter eggers. So I'm kind of like, what am I going to do? So my tendency again in this case, especially since it's not swollen, she's not acting any different, would be to just do the Epsom salt. And what I'm going to do is I will put here when I edit the video exactly what ratio I'm doing of Epsom salt to warm water. And of course you could stir it around with your finger until the Epsom salt dissolves. I am an expert in Epsom salt. I have to use it for myself all the time. So just getting the right ratio of what is, the best way to help her. And then I'm probably going to do it after the birds have gone to bed because she'll be sleepier, easier to grab. And then trying that, today is Saturday, trying that for, 3-4 days. And if it looks like it's not improving, because I'll be, looking at it every day. If it looks like it's not improving, then I'm going to get Yuri, actually, the friend who gave me these 2, and the friend who gave me Lacey and Gracie. All 4 of my adoptees are from her. Getting her to come out and help me. And what we'll have to do is get my patio table and bring it over here and, have the bandages out and the Neosporin and sterilize everything out here, but just try to do the best we can of this surgery with, you know, with her outside. And, you know, because I would much rather, if she freaks out and escapes, I would rather have her do it here than in my house. So it's tough, and I've been so worried about them. Last night, this is a side note, I don't know what happened. I came out to put the birds to bed. This door had fallen closed, and I don't know how or why. I mean, it's hooked very well. We didn't have like a huge windstorm or what. And these poor two little girls, I flattened their pallet so they can't just hide. Obviously, they still are hiding. That's their comfort zone, but not under the pallet. They were up on the roof, and you can't see from here, but I've got more chicken wire over that awning, so they can't hop onto the roof and then hop out. So it's got, you know, like a lip right there. And they were both huddled up there in the dark, like, I guess this is where we're gonna sleep. And poor Flopsy was like sliding down off the roof, so I was able to grab them both and check their feet. Luckily, the one who was more scared, the one with the floppy comb, hence her name Flopsy, the one who was on your left looking right at me, just lowered her head. Her feet look great. She's fine, thank goodness, because she's even more panicky. Miss Moppet seems to be intelligent and more calm, just very wild. So my heart is just hurting because I feel like no matter what I do, someone's going to criticize me. No matter what I do, you know, I'm always going to second guess myself, because again, this is the first time I've had any of this problem. And it's nice to know that, you know, I've had chickens here for over a year and nobody's cut their foot on this area. Everybody's fine. The only reason this happened is because they were in quarantine and all of the rain happened. It was just, you know, a whole bunch of factors that all happened at the same time. So look at these birds. I have not seen Calypso going after them in a couple of days. Lacey and Gracie are both totally cool with the new girls. But I want to make sure Calypso's not being a brat, or I'll go grab her and put her in her place. So that's what's going on right now. Just as silly as it sounds, like thinking about it and asking everybody their opinion and praying about the right decision, because I don't want to cut open a bird and make something worse. I don't want to have a more traumatic experience for her. You know, I'm hoping she's not in pain. I never want my animals to be unhappy or stressed or hurting. I always want everybody to just be fat and happy. That's what I'm dealing with right now on how to proceed with this Bumblefoot issue. So, I'm not going to end up writing an article on Bumblefoot. There are way more scientific sites. There are way better sites that have gone way in depth. People who have lots of chickens, like the Chicken Chick, like the Backyard Chickens website. My friend Dean was sending me websites from the UK of what they use for, you know, chicken advice and chicken help. So, but I will document my experience as I do it. But I think right now we're going to try the Epsom salt at night because it's the least invasive thing. It's not going to hurt anything. And I'll do it, you know, either right before she goes to bed or once she's in bed. And I'll just hold her with, you know, like a container, and just hold her and put her feet in there, and then just be gently just massaging her feet. The beautiful thing would be, the ideal situation would be, we do that for a couple of days and the scab just falls off like a normal scab, and it's healthy tissue underneath and she's fine. Again, I kind of squeezed her feet and she didn't seem to care or react at all when we checked her again. And again, I didn't feel anything hard below the skin. There's no blood, no pus, no heat in the area, which is all good. Those would be signs of your body fighting an infection. So I hope she just cut her feet and it's healing. So, but I'll keep you guys updated. That's just a little bit of a major source of stress right now. I needed to come out and just talk about it out loud for a minute. So that's what's going on. If you guys have experience, if you have suggestions, if you feel like going and looking it up and telling me what you think or what you would do in the situation, advice is always welcome. You know, hopefully I can do a video one day of me soaking her feet so you could see. But I'm Sarah. I'm the real simple mama. These are my birds. Gracie is like cooing and growling in here. It is so cute, the sound she's making. Gracie bird. I had to buy some more dirt because these goofy chickens have kicked all of the dirt out because they made another dirt bath in here. I see you. You tick tick. So we'll be back soon. Thanks for everything, guys.